Hello and welcome back to another Omniheroes video. In this video we're just going to go through the unit Mavis. Now Mavis has been out for a couple of seasons now and is a very impactful unit. The problem with Mavis is that you do need her at 11 stars for her to be properly functional. And I'll go through that in just a second, but just to start with, let's go through her synergies. So she's on the Avengers team. She's very good on that team. She fits in very well and replaces certain other members like this guy, Elrain, and also can replace a front slot unit of, say, Solomon as well. So a very good fit in that team, as well as the Shadow Arcs. Funny enough, if you are doing a Shadow Arcs mission, I do tend to use 3 Shadow Arcs on the Avengers team, and that's Mavis, that's Persephone, and Solomon as well. Just when going through missions, it makes it much easier to have three of the middle synergy, or 3 of the faction synergy within an overall synergy of the Valkyrie synergy here. So the final synergy is Monarch, and for me personally, it is the best synergy within the game, especially if you get it up to 4 Monarchs within a team. They don't take damage exceeding 40% of max HP in a single instance of damage, and every 1% of HP the target loses increases damage boost by an additional 1% up to 50, and if you do have all 5, it's up to 100% as well. So for me, that first part, ally units will not take damage exceeding 30% of their max HP in a single instance of damage, can be very impactful, and is probably the reason that I was able to complete the Lost City. I was able to complete the story missions, and is one of the reasons that I'm able to get through the Palace of Penrose as well. So very good synergies overall. The Monarch synergy, Shadow Arc synergy, again, is probably the worst synergy that you can have, but it is good to have a good unit within that synergy to be able to go through the Lost City as well. Now, her actual skills, so her ultimate skill, Mavis summons a powerful ghoul-like creature dealing 300% physical damage to a single backline enemy, so not too impactful there. She doesn't do too much damage with her ultimate and active abilities, and she's really there for utility, and we'll go through that in just a second. So her active skill, or her secondary attack, Mavis commands her skeleton army to attack, dealing 120% physical damage to a single backline enemy. Not too impactful again. The damage numbers on here are pretty low. That 120% is relatively low. Well, it's about average across the board for these attacks. So the 300% is about average, and the 120% is about average as well. So average units so far, but Deadly Calamity. Mavis will immediately revive and restore 20% max HP upon death. It can be activated up to 3 times per battle, and then the part that really kicks in will be the last words. So upon death, Mavis deals 1 times the damage of her ultimate to all enemies. So that's every time she dies, you can or she will deal effectively ultimate damage to all enemies, which can be a very powerful effect, especially in PvP, where enemy health and enemy toughnesses are not through the roof, as in the PvE events like Penrose and Lost City, stuff like that. So yeah, the reason that I held off for so long is because of that last passive. It does trigger on 11 stars, so it activates on 11 stars. So Mavis deals 1 times damage for ultimate to all enemies. And finally, I was going to hold off even further, just for this final, unlocks at 12 stars, level 2 of the Spectre's Wail. But when Mavis is deployed, the number of targets affected by the Fortitude effect of Persephone's Soul Salvation skill increases by 1, and the duration extended to 2 rounds. That's very it's very helpful when you're trying to get through a mission, say, for example, in the Lost City, where you need, 5 survivors with 60% HP or more. That having Mavis and Persephone on the team can give the frontline enemies much more of a chance, especially if they're going up against something like a Verdin synergy on the opposing team, where a lot of attacks will go to that front row. It's very impactful. But the second part, every 1% increase in dodge additionally increases attack by 2% as well. So that is the goal, really, because if we go into talents, I've not leveled up her talents because I've not got her to 12 stars yet. Typically, I've found I will only level up the legendary talents to 12 stars unless it's a super impactful unit. But again, I've not leveled Mavis's up, so she's only got increases dodge and increases cure rate by 15%. If we did have this unlocked, we would get an additional 60% attack if I had the legendary talent up as well. But she's got a very good kit overall. It's very well designed, I think, and it's very well placed within the Avengers team here. So with regards to her runes, I've just gone full DPS. As you can see, I've got one exclusive rune, but the rest are all just normal DPS runes. Her actual rune skill, so if we go into it, so this last words, upon death, grants the ally with the lowest HP a 20% chance to trigger Blessing each time they are attacked by an active skill in the next 2 rounds. So effectively adding more survivability. The middle ground, or the halfway house for Mavis's rune skill between legendary and epic is the 30% chance to trigger. And then finally, it's a 50% chance to trigger Blessing each time they are attacked by an active skill in the next 2 rounds. So a very impactful ability when she does die. And it is all about Mavis dying. Now, let's jump into a couple of teams here. But first, of course, let's jump into a couple of games here, and let's show off a couple of different teams. We'll go 280 and the standard Dawnbringers synergy here. So first of all, we're going to clear everything out, and then we'll put Mavis in. Now, we'll go for a full Avengers team build first. So I'm going to go with Sal, Jana. We'll go with Narissa, and we'll go with Ardina as well. We don't want to survive this. We do want to survive, but we want Mavis to hit first. So we'll go with a heal, and we'll go with this instead of going with the Blades of Chaos in the middle. So you can run something very similar to this with the Avengers, but typically I do want Mavis to die as much as possible, so we want the least amount of Holy Shields possible as well. So this is full Avengers team, so we've got Ardina, Narissa, Gianna, all Deviant synergies. Now we don't have any other Shadow Arcs on this team, and we don't have any other Monarchs on this team either. So we won't be getting the buffs from those, but we will hopefully be able to see Mavis die and revive a couple of times as well. So we'll have Narissa popping off, of course. Now the whole point of the Avengers team is effectively to die and then to come back to life. And in doing so, we should hopefully see Mavis do that a couple of times. We need this Holy Shield to be removed first, which will take a couple of attacks to get through. But we'll just have to see how well we do here. So not doing massive damage, because this team, it is a build-up team as well. Narissa especially not doing as much damage as we really do want. So Mavis here doing respectable levels of damage, and that's her Holy Shield down. So hopefully we'll be able to see her die a couple of times here. Yep, so we see her die, and there's her passive trigger going off. So that's every time she dies, she will do that, and we come back to life. And we'll just see Mavis steadily gets stronger and stronger over the course of the battle here. So Sal also works very well with Mavis, primarily because of the change in his kit. So they changed his kit a couple of months ago now, I think, about a month ago, where he can stack up to 20 times, I believe. Every time a unit will die, he'll increase his own attack by 10%. It's a very similar effect to Janna's passive ability as well. So all of this team synergizes well with units dying, and with Mavis here, she is able to die quite efficiently and come back to life as many times as possible. Lots of misses there as well. Janna to drain shields, Nerissa to tickle the enemy, and Sal to do some hopefully quite big damage there. So as you can see, damage going up, and also that is Mavis dead, triggering her active skill. We do have Nerissa here and some big misses. So fortunately the Themis is placed well, and you see Mavis is dying, and every time she does die, she'll trigger Nerissa's active skill, and she'll come back up to a maximum of 3 times. So I believe that is, this will be the last one, the last death that she can have, but she should be at full strength now. So we'll see. Yep, damage still going up, so still very good for us, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this this mission with a win, but we'll just have to see. So spear triggers, and then we should get some healing for our team here. Yep, so Mavis not doing as much damage overall, but a big damage soaker upper. She's a big sponge for damage, and hopefully gives you enough time to survive, so that Janna and Sal can build up their attacks, like we see here. And now Mavis still alive, even though she's died 4 times during this battle so far, and Nerissa popping off as she normally does. So Mavis still doing relatively low damage, but it's not really what we use her for until she gets up to that 12-star mark, which can be very powerful once she's there as well. So that was her on the Avengers team. Works very well in synergy with other units like Janna and like Selene as well. Let's jump into another setup that we've got for her. So this is the Shadow Arcs team, and what we want to do with the Shadow Arcs team is, in fact, we'll keep that in, and we will do Avengers again, but it's going to be a different Avengers team. So this is typically what I would run if I was trying to beat a Shadow Arc stage. And the reason for that is because we've got the 3 Shadow Arcs here, and we've got 4 Avengers synergies, and we will hopefully be able to keep as many of our allies alive as possible. This team, the reason that I've got Atrops in here is to give that attack boost as well. However, if you are trying to allow units to survive, I would highly recommend switching the Atrops out for Janna instead. So you will still have a 5 Avengers team. There's 3 Shadow Arcs in this team, and you'll be able to survive for much longer. Whereas with Janna, that's with Janna in the team. With Atrops in the team, we just want to do as much damage as quickly as we possibly can. So as you can see, Mavis doing a bit more damage than she was last time. Fortunately, the Fortitude effect kicking in, so enemies should only be able to kill Mavis on the basic attack turn. So that's turns 1, turns 4, turns 7, turns 10, turns 13, and I think that's it. But I think that's the order that it goes in. But as you can see here, so we are a Persephone down here. Unfortunately, Mavis is not part of the Phantom synergy. Now, I would have loved Mavis to be a part of the Phantom synergy. You don't particularly want her to stay alive, really. You do want her to die as frequently as possible. And given that Monarch synergy is a bit strange for me, I completely respect the synergy itself. Miss, unfortunately. But I do respect the synergy itself, given that for me it's the most powerful synergy in the game. But with Mavis, you want her to be dying quite frequently, and for that to kick in, you would some big damage from her there. But I think that's to do with the Striker synergy as well. But you do want her to die quite frequently, so I think adding her to the Phantoms team rather than her to the Monarchs team would have been a better choice, because then you would have been able to have effectively a full 5 Phantoms at this point for the Avengers team. And as the point of the unit is to die and come back to life, I think it would be more appropriate for her to be a Phantom rather than a Monarch. But we'll jump onto a Monarch's team now. This is the team, again, like I said, I think she fits the worst in. And the reason for that, you don't really want her to be alive. You do want her to keep dying continuously, so that she can have that last word effect, basically, where she will do damage equal to her ultimate. So we've got the 5 Monarch synergy here, so we will be getting a 4% increase in damage as well, I believe. We've gone with a Monarch Mystifiers team here. So as you can see, I've got the 3 Mystifiers in Sandra. I've got Talos, Dullahan as the Mystifier Monarchs, and then I've got Macaria, who is also a Demon Monarch, and Mavis here, who is an Avengers Monarch as well. So we get Macaria going off, and we will see relatively low. Yeah, so that's the lowest damage that we've seen from this Mavis so far. But she is taking hits much better now, now that she's in a full Monarch setup. If you remember, we can only take a maximum of 30% damage at any given time from a single instance of damage, which means that, say for example, in that attack there was only 1 instance of damage, so we would have only been able to take a maximum of 30% of our health. But say for example, if Nawi does strike, if you're up against an opposing Nawi, Monarch synergy doesn't tend to help out too much, just because there is very she does 5 attacks. So if she does strike all of your team, there is the potential for all of them to be wiped out, because she does 4 follow-up basic attacks as well. So it's just something to be wary about when you are team building, when you're looking to go up against certain difficult enemies, like Nawi, for example. It may be better to run a different team, because if Nawi does proc, you're not going to be able to stop all that damage, even through the Monarch synergy. So Mavis showing off here, she is getting the Holy Shield from this bow, so from Plague Bow as well. And now Talos is, but as you can see, we should start to see her die a fair bit more now, just because we're not able to get the enemy's health down very much, and we are, again, I don't think we've seen her die so far in the Monarchs team, and really you do want her to be dying. Monarchs, again, it's just a weird choice. It really is a weird choice for me. Like, Monarchs, the most defensive build in the game, but you want Mavis to be dying. You want her to be a Phantom. I just don't understand why she's not a Phantom. For me, that would have been so much more efficient for her within that Phantoms build. And I'll just show you in a second why. So I think we can go ahead and safely skip this one, just because I know for a fact that we're not going to be able to see too much of Mavis trigger. As I say that, she does die, but she's getting the shields back. She's going to be able to start recovering her health as well. But again, we really do want her to start dying effectively, and in this team it's just nearly impossible. So she becomes effectively redundant for me within this team. So as you can see, it was only Talos that went down, but we weren't able to successfully complete it. I'm just going to show very quickly the Monarch team, not the Monarch, the Phantom team that I think she should have been on. For me, this personally would be, it would be one of the greatest Phantom teams of all time. Typically, I'd want something along the lines of this, and then a damage dealer like Sal, because he is an Avenger, and you would get the 5 Avengers. You can also replace Sal for Atrops, or you can put in a 5th Phantom as well. Sorry, a 4th Phantom in this case, in the form of Persephone. I just don't understand why Mavis isn't a Phantom. For me, that would make her, that would pump her up a tier or 2. Is giving her that Phantom synergy. But let me know what you think of her. If you like her, if you've never explored the character before, because I know she's effectively just as difficult to get as Nawi, if not more. Nawi is typically more readily available, whereas Mavis, you do need to go out of your way to go and collect her, as far as I've found anyway, because I've only had her up to sort of 3 stars before I really started going out of my way to get copies of her, where I was able to get her up to 11 stars over sort of 3 months. So let me know what you think. If you like the video, please do, and if you can subscribe to the channel, would be really appreciated. Thanks for watching. You have a good day.